Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today?
Welcome to the School of Greatness. This is Lewis, and I'm joined by Howe's.
Hello, I'm House.
I'm Howe's. I'm Lewis. This is our show. We're taking over now.
Yeah, we are definitely absolutely great, and we just need to teach you all like boring ass ungreat people how to, be great like us.
School is in session.
We made it, and yeah, you need to know because it's very important for our wallets.
Yes. Lewis Howe's is going to show you how to make $1 million if you just spend $1,000.
Wow.
It's really quite
Just talk about starting small and not having any upfront costs,
yeah, it's a very small fee of $10,000 and he'll teach you all his tricks.
But what happened to just starting, just doing that first step and just beginning, just having the courage and like listening to your intuition in order to like start that first, like put your shoes, like your workout shoes on and then you're fit. Like immediately, like what happened to that first step?
We're past the first step. Like the first step has been passed. Like we're on the staircase already. And the second step is a $10,000 investment in your future. So we're already there. We're already like, we're so much like more, what do you call it? Ascended. We've ascended the just start method. We're now in the School of Greatness, Lewis Howe's level of the scheme that we're in, I think.
And that would be lovely if they said that, because I believe that that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, the second step is definitely like put all of the money you have, go into debt, put all of the money you have into this freaking 20K retreats or masterminds or whatever.
Yes.
And then we'll talk. Like,
then success will begin. Yes, always. They're all the same. But you know who's not the same? Mallory Ann. She is a stan. Thank you so much. Mallory says, I have to work, but I can't wait to watch the replay. Hashtag choose sadness. Hell yeah. Yes. Thank you, Mallory. We'll give you a special shout out throughout our episode today. And this is from Dave Hollis, who we're not talking about today, but he is a man in the self-help space. He says,
I love you.
So yeah. There you go.
And unfollow me, please.
Unfollow me.
I set up my new soundbite machine. It has more buttons. So I've only added a couple more, or I've added one more, I think, since last time.
I don't regret anything.
Oh, no, that's old. Sorry. But it's on my list of this week to add more sound bites. So if there's any moments that within this podcast or this live stream that you find funny, holla at your girl and I'll add it.
Yeah. I remember like a specific time where like a reptile entered, or like your cat Tarot entered with a reptile in her
screaming.
In her hand, in her mouth.
I caught her in the front yard today, which is against the rules, against the cat rules. She's only allowed in the backyard. And she's like hanging out in the front yard with no fence, just chilling. When I came back from therapy, I'm like, what are you doing? And she ran back in the backyard and acted like she was there the whole time. She's a sneaky cat. She's a
smart.
Sneaky cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go on, we're going to talk about Lewis Howe's today. We're very excited. There's lots to talk about. We've talked about him before, sort of. He's always in all of our segments because he interviews all of the other scammers that we talk about. But let's hear just for a second. Someone requested this soundbite last time because they're like, this is too underplayed, and I agree. So here's Tony Robbins for us.
What excites me most is see a person die.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. What excites me most is to see a person die.
Just
Tony
like,
Robbins.
Straight up turns me on. Like,
what excites me most is to see a person die.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that was taken out of context, guys. That was taken out of context. You guys are unfair. Yeah, we know.
You know, that's, yeah, we did it on purpose.
We're aware. All right.
Yeah.
Lewis.
So Kayla is a big fan of Lewis.
Love him to pieces. My favorite part about Lewis House is something he does lately, and I also saw that Tom Bilyeu started doing it. He's got this thing where he like looks at the camera, and I can probably find one quickly, and he goes like this. He pulls a Mel Robbins and high fives the camera lens as like his intro. Oh. Let me find.
Wow.
But only sometimes. It's like sometimes it just starts right away. Maybe he's changed. Oh, there's your favorite.
I love him. Oh,
Dr.
they both
Joey.
What did he get? Like a hair implant? What happened there?
No, he just wished. Okay.
He
just believed.
That's true. He meditated on every single hair until it grew.
I would like.
Here's another one. Pop.
Yeah. Here's Jay Shetty. I guess my whole point is null and void because he doesn't do it anymore. But he used to do this thing where every time he would post a video, he would rock back and forth in the camera and then go like this to the camera, and then the interview would start. And I found it so bizarre because it's like, why? Why do you need your face here real fast for here's Dean Graziosi. So, okay, we're just going through his Instagram quickly to see the types of people that he interviews. And as we can see, scammers, schemers, and skateboarders? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he's ever interviewed a skateboarder, but all the people that we recognize, basically.
Yeah. He's one of the very few, too many for my liking, but not that many. But in the grand scheme of things, it's him, Tom Bilyeu, Oprah, who else? Like Ed Milet, Ed right there, Ellen. Apparently.
Ed Milet, he's the other one. I just got his book. I was showing you a second ago. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. The Power of One More, the ultimate guide to happiness and success. I can't wait to shit on this book.
Yeah.
In due time.
I'm excited for that because I never really... I mostly looked into their guests rather than themselves.
Exactly.
It's interesting to look into them.
Now, tell me what you know about Lewis. So, did you know he's a multi-millionaire? Are you aware of that?
No. I mean, he does tell people that he's rich, but I so yeah, as far as
here it is.
Yay! Well, that was, yeah.
There's our girl Mel. Okay, so basically his claim to fame, we can read about it. His big claims that I've seen him talk about on his show is that he's like an all-American athlete. He was a former professional athlete. Okay, keep that in mind while we talk. He's a millionaire who sold like $1 million plus company, and he started this 7-figure business all while sleeping on his sister's couch. That's his claim to fame, sort of. That's his story in a nutshell. Now, he goes into more details here and there, but I find this is my overall take on Lewis House. He will take any adversity, so anything, like literally down to I had pimples when I was a teenager, and turn that into an inspirational story that he's overcome.
Yeah.
That seems to be the theme. He'll take anything that he's got that might make you feel bad for him, and he'll blow it into like the biggest, oh my gosh, I've overcome like so much in my life.
Yeah, me too. I'm also living with my sister, so I am currently like within 2 years I will be in Lewis House's show.
Yes.
I will be telling you how I was sleeping on the couch, and he'll be like, "Oh my God, my me too. Like, what the hell? Like, and I'll be like, see, Lewis, same.
We're the same. We're basically the same. So here's Bob Proctor. Just basically, he interviews a lot of people who are, law of attraction, self-help. Rachel Hollis has been on the show. Jenna Kutcher's been on the show. Mel Robbins has been on the show. Jay Shetty. Who am I missing? All of them. Did I say Mel Robbins already? All of them.
Marie Forleo. I was gonna say Marie Kondo. No,
she's too good.
She's never.
She's too good.
She's like a next level.
This guy, David Goggins, his big one though.
I've seen his interview. Yeah.
Yeah, David Goggins. He's sort of one of the ones that like I tend to believe is like sort of legit because he actually did serve in like the army and I don't know. Let me not say the wrong thing. He's like actually served in the military and seems to really care about like the physical stuff. So I tend to think he's okay. I mean, at least he has some.
That could be traumatic, actually. Like, actually, not like having pimples.
Guys, I was bullied because I had pimples. So that's the vibe. That's basically what he does. And he platforms. There's Jenna, your favorite.
Oh, yeah.
What is that outfit? I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about fashion too much because I am not a fashion star, but I see her outfit sometimes. I'm like, what? What is this?
Jenna is a very self-aware control freak. But she's really a control. Like, she literally has like even like toothbrushes in the same aesthetic as the house. Like, you do not like that. Those babies have been dressed in the aesthetic of you don't get colors with Jenna.
Yeah,
so even
she's got that brown,
strong red there. I'm just kind of like, ooh. Jenna has gone out of her comfort zone there.
Out of her color zone. She's mostly an orange gal, like a brownish orange person. And I mean that with like the filters that she uses, not her skin color necessarily, but like her Instagram aesthetic definitely is orange brown.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay, so that's that. Joe Dispenza. So he platforms like, okay, so he'll get like a normal, and I say normal, like a social media person like Paris Hilton. Kristen Cavallari was recently on the show. So it's mixed in. And I feel like Impact Theory does this too, like Tom Bilyeu. They'll have like a more mainstream celebrity come on, and maybe they pay to have that person come on, or maybe that they're enticed by the amount of downloads that the podcast allegedly gets. But they'll have like a normal person on, which I would say like is a Paris Hilton type. She's not really selling a mastermind course, I don't believe, on how to become a Hilton. But then the rest of the people are scammers in the sense of they have something to sell you. They have courses, they know that you're there to feel better about yourself and that you might have self-esteem issues. So they're gonna, like a Joe Dispenza is gonna go on to this platform and say like he heals Parkinson's disease. But Paris Hilton going on the same show legitimizes the scammers. And that's sort of one of the big issues that I have with platforms like this.
Yeah, and I would agree that he probably paid her, because I see no fucking way that she would come on Lewis House's show unless she was paid the big bucks.
I agree.
He is definitely part of the self-help industry. Like, he always goes to these masterminds. He even hosts his own mastermind that Jenna Kutcher went to like years ago. So he's a self-helper.
Totally. And he attributes a lot of that to his success. And we're going to talk about his beginning. So I think we should start. We'll just look at his website quickly, just to get a feel for it. Who is at the forefront in the middle of his universe? As you see, we got a big ass picture of Tony Robbins right in the middle. And he's attributed Tony Robbins with a lot of his, as like a pseudo mentor. Like, I look up to Tony Robbins. He's mentioned his a bunch in interviews and such. We got Brene Brown. Brene only wears brown over here. And then Kobe Bryant probably is his and Jay Shetty also interviewed Kobe Bryant. So I don't know. I guess he was on a press tour, obviously before he died. But he at that time got on a lot of these shows, and it's so funny because they all put it out there as like their main header, or like their, if they ever do press or anything, they show like Kobe Bryant, like, oh, I interviewed him, because it's like their claim to fame. Which, it's very impressive, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
It's interesting.
They could also interview me if they paid me the big bucks. I would
Yes.
definitely like accept the invitation. So
We can always put in a request, I'm sure. I don't know who these people are.
Why is this image so inaccurate for some reason? Do you know what I mean?
Galaxy.
Like, this is not a real representation of like
The show.
the self-help industry.
No, he picked out the
Lewis
best
like,
ones.
pushing.
Yeah. Sort of the highlights. I don't know who this do you know who this person is with the prayer hands? I have no idea. I've never seen that person before, and I've never seen the woman above him. Might be an athlete.
No idea. Not even the guy next to him. I have no idea who they are.
Isn't that the DJ, or am I not getting that right? Isn't that DJ the one that travels so much, Steve Aoki? I think that's him.
I don't know who that is.
He's I watched his I think it's him, and I'm sorry if it's not, but his documentary, like, he travels like every second of every day. He's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's his whole motto. So that's always good.
That's a very Bon Jovi thing to say.
Yeah. He travels private so that he doesn't have to wait for the plane. He can just go and then DJ immediately. Okay, someone said that's Steve Aoki. Okay, good. I'm glad. And then you'll also see this similar messaging from like a Rachel Hollis or a Tony Robbins, where it's, you were born for this, you were made for this, kind of inferring that like larger than life, God-like presence seems to be very big in these companies, where, you know, you were made for more, you were born for greatness. This is a God-given right to be monetarily successful. So
yeah, I just went on a big rant about that in my video about, it's not done yet, but I'll have a video about Janak Kuchar, and
I'm excited.
I cannot stand this. Like, why? What's wrong with just plain old having a job, doing your job, getting paid for it, having your life, however small and not great it is? What's wrong with that?
Unacceptable. You can't make money that way, Cam. Come on, we can't force people to feel bad about themselves and then therefore force them to buy coaching from us. That ain't gonna work. That's not good marketing.
Yeah. And apparently like 25% of these businesses that these people just keep pushing people to open and start, only 25% make it past the 15-year mark. Not to mention, like, loads fail in the first like 2 to 5 years.
I was gonna say that statistic seems very high. I would imagine that like 15% make it 5 years and the rest don't. I don't know. We haven't been in it long enough to know, but like if someone that in your life is like a life coach and they're starting their online course business, like in 10 years, I don't foresee long-term success with that, but...
Oh, I think the statistic was about like all new businesses. So it's not just about that, but
okay.
That's why I'm just so like, can you stop telling people to start business? Like,
yeah.
And then they're all like, you don't need a plan. You don't need, it's like, you don't
need money plan. Except to pay me to tell you that you are already born for this.
Yeah.
You are the expert.
How many successful businesses started without a plan? Like, what the hell is that BS advice? I'm so sick of it.
I don't know. And I agree. I think, and it's funny because I think, you know, you and I we make money from making content on the internet. We run a business, you know, 1099 in the United States, or like a freelancing business at the very least, but they would hate on this type of business. Like, we're following our passions. We're listening to basically all the advice, like not listening to, you know, people's apprehensions and going for it and posting and being ourselves. And they'd be like, yeah, but you're a hater and you're actually negative and how dare you, even though we're like doing what they're actually saying. But the subcontext of what they say is like, start a positive life coach business. They don't want a YouTube business where you talk shit about the industry. They want like, start a business where you talk to your mentor about how amazing they are. It's like,
they want a pyramid. They want a pyramid. You have a mentor and then you mentor other people under you, and suddenly like Avon who, like this is the new MLM scheme.
Yes, affiliate training.
That's what they want, and that's how they make money.
Oh, totally. Yeah. A lot of these scams are, and you know, the guy that I know you're going to do a video about him, the boyfriend of Jordan Peterson's daughter. What's his name again? The crazy
Andrew
guy?
Tate. Oh,
Andrew Tate. Apparently he has an online course where you learn how to sell his course to other people. And that's a big thing. Like, hey, buy my high ticket, class where I'll teach you how to do affiliate marketing. But meanwhile,
you mean Hustlers University?
Yes, I do.
Hustlers.
HU, Hustlers University. I want to plug this in real quick. Hold on.
Oh, Rachel, message me because I would love to hear about the local Target that she used to work at.
I'm shocked. I thought she only worked in corporate Wisconsin Target.
She was a management executive in HR.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's return to Lewis. Let's just take a little gander. Continue. There's Lewis and Tony on the private jet. There's Lewis and Steve Aoki. There's Ed Millett. There's random people. There's the Kobe Bryant picture. Wonderful, wonderful. There's our Jenna. There's our doctor, in quotes, Joe Dispenza. Okay, so here's his story. Let's just read his story. And I have another article that's going to go more into depth in his story, and we'll talk again about how I think he exaggerates a lot of normal human behavior, normal life growing up. If anything, pretty or fairly affluent is what I can tell, but he will downplay that till the cows come home, as they say. In my opinion. So here we go. It's October 11th, 2001. I'm a senior in college and an all-American athlete. It's the night before a football game. My dad's my biggest fan, my greatest ally, and together we're dreaming of me playing pro football. Life feels great. And then I get an unexpected call from my sister. Lewis, an SUV went over Dad's car. The bumper smashed through the window and he split his head open. He's in a coma. He might not make it through the night. Okay, that's pretty fucking tragic. And then that's it. Okay, we're left to just be on a cliffhanger. And then it goes, growing up in the small town of Delaware, Ohio, I overcame feeling dumb, feeling lonely, and being bullied for being in special needs classes by dedicating myself to becoming the best athlete I could be. By my side the whole way was my dad supporting me, coaching me, and cheering me on. He was my best friend and my greatest coach. Okay. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this information? That's it?
Why did he not... Like, he was on a row there. Why did he just stop?
I have no idea, and I don't understand how this has anything to fucking do with anything.
I thought his dad died recently because he mentioned it in an interview with Gabby Bernstein that I watched like these weeks.
Well, we'll find out.
I was so sure when I'm just so surprised that this happened in 2001 because...
Well, I think he just got injured. I don't think he actually died back then. I think because it just said he was in a coma, so I think he recovered. But little trivia, interesting. So his parents, his dad and his mom met in college, but I don't think they graduated. But take a wild guess what both of their majors were. They were the same major, his mom and dad.
Ooh.
It's so weird. It's like the most... What?
Football. Is that a major?
No. Football.
Because he said his dad was a coach, no?
He liked football. I don't know if he was a coach, but no, it's sort of the opposite of football, actually.
Oh, what's the opposite of...
They were majoring in ball foot. No, I'm just kidding. They were opera majors.
What? Oh my God. I did not see that coming.
Right? Didn't see that coming. Someone write a book. Yeah, opera majors. They wanted to be professional singers, and they met in college. And instead of pursuing opera, they had kids. Therefore, Lewis was born.
That's where like all dreams go to die.
In Ohio, yeah.
They had kids, and then it turned out to be Lewis. They're like,
The
fucking
prospects,
hell,
yeah,
I
the
should have
prospects,
been an opera singer.
yeah, the prospects of being an professional opera singer in Ohio were low, slim to none, I believe. just knowing about the state. So yeah, and okay, so I clicked on the link to learn more because I was hooked into this tragic story that apparently is his story, which really sounds more like his dad's story, but okay. How an awkward boy from Ohio became a Times best-selling author, which I guess is cool guy slang for the New York Times. Times.
There's also a website, a newspaper called Times, the Times.
Times. I don't know. I'm assuming he means New York Times, but maybe it's a smaller.
Maybe he's not. Yeah, he's a Times one. It's nothing to do with New York.
At times, I've been a good seller.
I'm an author sometimes.
At times, I've been the best, depending on which situation I'm in. Okay, so we've already read this part. But here's the second half. Okay. By my side the whole way was my dad. Okay. That's about how he was my greatest coach in life. 3 months after the accident, we got the news that my dad has finally woken up from the coma. My deep relief is quickly replaced by a heart-wrenching realization that everything's different. He doesn't care about my football anymore, and he barely cares about me. The car accident all but killed my dad and left a shell of a man that just wants to watch TV. No matter how hard we try, there's no bringing back my dad. I find this to be extremely odd to share.
That is so tone deaf. Like, dude, your dad was in a coma and you're worried that he doesn't care about your football. Just can you get over yourself for a few months? I don't know.
No.
A year, 2 years until he recovers. Can you imagine just the term? Now, that I would say is a traumatic event. Like going through a coma, waking up months later.
Yeah.
Imagine just how physically you're destroyed.
3 months is a long time to be in a coma.
Yeah, and from a mental health perspective, that probably I can't even imagine the depression that probably sets in. And Lewis is like, he doesn't care about my football.
But what about me?
Yeah.
I know you've just gone through this, but what about my future? Haley Miss says the Opera Times. The Opera Child Times. I was a bestseller. That's funny.
So funny.
That is good. Okay, so this is the second part. So we got the dad in the coma story. Again, not really sure, other than kind of showing that he's sort of not really empathetic to his dad's situation. Now we're going to talk about his professional sports life. Now, true or false? Here's some trivia again. We'll play a little game because there's so many weird facts about Lewis. True or false? He is currently, allegedly, training for the Olympics.
False. He looks like he's not trained in 2 decades.
Wrong. True.
No.
He apparently, now maybe this is an outdated article to be fair, but he at one time at least, he was training to play handball, which I am not really familiar with as a sport, other than throwing a racquetball ball at the wall for fun as a kid. Apparently it's a real sport, and he was training to be in that.
How do you not know this? This is very popular in Europe.
It is handball?
Yeah.
Interesting. And it's actually
There's
a big
no
part of the
racket
story.
and there's no wall. It's like football, but you hold the ball. It's when you think of football, you think of the American thing. It's like soccer, but it's in your hands.
It's like rugby?
It's just in your yeah. Well, no, because you're not chasing. It's
What's
like
the
soccer.
shape of the ball? A hand
round.
shape? Oh, round. Okay.
It's exactly like soccer.
It's a severed
but
human
you
hand.
have to hold it.
Okay.
Instead of kicking it with the foot.
That's
why
like
it's
football.
handball.
Okay.
No, because there's no rules like you guys have these weird things. You have to go from one side of the thing and you have to get to first base, and I don't understand American sport.
I can tell you're a football fan. First base, yes. Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't look. To be fair, I did not look up the National Handball Association or the American Association, because apparently he was a big. Well, I don't know, a big part of that, but a big part of his life was playing handball. But
Yeah, it's
okay,
a real
so
thing.
it's a real thing.
You get
okay.
really fit.
Okay. I thought it was like, playing horse on the wall with your friends, because that's what we called handball. But apparently it's different.
No, there's no wall at all involved. In fact, if there's a wall, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
You have a ball and you throw it, and then if it bounces before you catch it, it's like, oh, you lose a point. That's what I was envisioning. Okay.
What?
Yeah. All right. So I'm more impressed, I suppose. But okay. Another thing Lewis says, he often will say, like, I was almost an NFL. I got injured and I couldn't pursue my dreams of the NFL. That's not so true. Not quite true, despite how he may frame it. Now, he played professional football, arena football, which is indoors. Usually it's like, you might have played college, you might have gotten injured from college. There's leagues across the country, but it's much, much, much smaller. It's not really revered, at least in the United States, or at least where I've lived, as like, oh my God, you're an arena football player. Like, wow, that is such an accomplishment. They don't make much money. It's kind of like this in-between stage. Like, they don't really want to give up on the football dream yet, but they're not really possibly going into the NFL. That's my interpretation of it. So he was a professional football player in arena football.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I guess small regional leagues, I guess.
Yeah, much smaller level. So I think he exaggerates that a little bit, makes it seem like I could have been in the NFL, but I hurt my wrist. He wasn't really getting scouted by, the Giants. He was playing arena football for a couple months, hurt himself, and was out. And that was like the career that he had, as far as I could tell from what I've learned. But this is what he's...
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, by that definition, I'm now like a professional power lifter.
Yeah. Like you did it for a few months.
I do body pump, and I lift like 10 kilograms. So yeah, totally.
Technically, you could be training for the Olympics. I mean,
technically, this is a story that will go into my traumatic book later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one believed in you enough after their traumatic event. Okay, so he says, I went on to play arena football, but for one season, but a career-ending injury shattered my identity. So he got his wrist hurt. I had nowhere to go but my sister's couch. I was broke, and deeply depressed. I didn't know who I was without sports. Would anyone still like me? How would I make money? What will I do for the rest of my life? Why was I ever born? Goes very dramatic.
That's very stream of consciousness.
Why is Earth created? Why is the universe so large? Let's
Why
just
is
keep
the sky
going.
blue?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever questioned the cosmos before? I didn't until I stopped playing football. I'd never been so lost and afraid. I remained sleeping on my sister's couch for a year and a half, and then she needed me to contribute some rent. I had no idea what value, if any, I had to offer the world. So a year and a half, she's finally like, all right, bro, can you pay me some rent or something? But alas, he got right to work after a year and a half. This reminds me of Lisa Bilyeu, who's like, for 8 years I lived and breathed for my husband, and I just put his clothes out for him and cooked for him for 8 years, as if she was like a prisoner of war or something. It's like, you chose to do that. You're lucky that you had it.
When the fuck are you gonna make it already? Because I'm done with the laundry.
Yeah. You got okay, I understand that might have been tough for you, but whose choice was that? Could you have worked? Yeah. I think Tom can fucking put his shoes on by himself, and you chose not to allow him to do that. Sorry.
No, but they really needed to essentially they put it, Lisa and also Jenna Kutcher, and Jenna has conflicting views on this gratitude thing, but Lisa is very clear because that gratitude kept her so small, essentially a housewife. Now she's no longer just a housewife. She's a housewife who also interviews people once a month.
I was too thankful. My toxic trait, too thankful.
Yeah,
too grateful.
Exactly. And Jenna was like, yes, see how gratitude can just keep you small. And in the book is like, be grateful, be grateful. I'm like, okay, which one is it,
I'm
Jenna?
confused. I always get confused about that. Like, how can you be grateful and then also constantly hate yourself and want to be achieving more and be the better version of yourself? I always find that confusing in self-help. And also, what's the difference between your gut, your intuition, and a limiting belief? Because they're described exactly the same way. The only difference is like in hindsight, like, oh, my limiting belief was I couldn't do that. But then the next sentence, you're like, listen to your gut about everything. It's like, well, I just thought I couldn't do that. So that would be my gut instinct.
Well, I don't know how you don't know this already, because considering how many self-help books we read, and they are all about listening to your intuition and about taking that beginner step. That's all that I've learned in like 10 years of self-help, is that intuition. We just do not know to listen to our intuition before we read the self-help book that explains to us in detail how that person listens to their intuition.
Yeah.
Then you're like suddenly like, wow, I never knew I wanted a child. Wow, like
I
I
listened to
never
myself.
knew I wanted to quit this job where the boss is super toxic. Wow, now that Jenna told me to just listen, I'm like, oh my God, I need to quit the job. Like, okay.
She did it. I can do it. That's
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
she did it. He did it. I can do it. And we don't do it. It's our fault.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, now we're to the juicy part. Now we're getting to like the real, he is like going to become the Lewis Howes that he is today. And I see the comment, Lisa sounds like Dobby. That's because she basically was Dobby in that story. Tom, can I please have a sock, please? No. Oh, he's not British. He's like, no, babe, I got to go make some protein bars. Be back at 6 a.m. tonight because I work every second of my life. She's like, all right, babe, well, I'll have your pajamas out for you. But if you could leave me a sock, that'd be nice. No.
Oh, man. What is it? Okay,
off the rails.
We're not doing this about Lisa, but what is it with her fashion sense? Because it's just always shocking to me. Every time I see her, I'm like, well, yeah, you surprised me again.
Shock value. I think that's what it is. And like half braided hair. Don't know why. Just that's her style, I guess. I mean, when you got buku bucks.
That she has like a bunch of bracelets, like not only just like a big watch, but like 100 bracelets to accompany it. I don't know. I find it very like 2000s. I guess very I was in high school kind of moment. I don't know.
I don't know either, but when you got money, man, you might as well ice yourself up. Just like ice yourself every day in every interview, complain about your life, and then also be wearing like $20,000 worth of jewelry at the same time.
Yeah.
That's my petition for all future self-help interviews. Okay.
Lewis.
He finally did something about it. He was like down on his luck. He had a year and a half to chill, and then it was finally time for him to get off his ass and do something. And then finally, I thought of something I could do. And the answer is scamming people on the internet.
Hey, what about a school of greatness though? Like,
not yet. That doesn't come yet. That's in the future. That's not yet. And he's gonna diss his dad one final time. Since dad could no longer help me, I start seeking new mentors.
It's like my dad was like so busy with his trauma and stuff, and my sister is like, hey, can you pay some money to the rent? And I was like, I can't believe you will all just kick me while I'm down. Like,
yeah, not like his dad who's actually physically down. He's like, no, everyone's kicking me while I'm down from doing nothing.
Yeah. He was I feel like I was on my sister's couch. Not technically, but I can spin this story for 300 pages, and in my first self-help book coming 2024. So, um, but at least I was doing like I was finishing my degree. Like, what was he doing for a year and a half? Because like you
That
get
year and a half
bored.
is missing. That you don't hear about that ever. It's just him just on the couch. He actually physically fused with the couch, I believe. There's no mention of that like year and a half worth of time.
He was listening to his intuition real hard.
He was just pissed at his dad constantly, just a constant rage on the couch, apparently.
How dare he be? How dare he be ill?
That car accident! Oh, how dare my dad get into that on purpose? Okay, so since his dad was a piece of shit, according to Lewis, for getting into a car accident, he started to seek new people to idolize. I began reaching out to highly accomplished people via LinkedIn and asked them to tell me the story of their success. These interviews give me new direction, new inspiration, and new hope, and they make me realize I'm afraid of so many things. So the first thing I do is make a list of everything I'm afraid of and commit myself to overcoming my fears. Okay, sounds like Rachel Hollis. I'm afraid of water, so I'm gonna jump in water. Okay.
Made like a list? What? Stop it! What? Because like this, like a to-do list.
Yeah, his list is very accurate and like it's very relatable to most people's fears in life. You ready? If it scared me, I go all in on it. Salsa dancing.
Wow, terrifying! Like,
And
oh,
he also like this. Okay, I feel like he also is. They're all the fucking same, you know. All these self-help people just take ideas from everyone else, but like Tim Ferriss is like a salsa dancer who's like the guy who wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. That's his whole thing, and it's so funny that I feel like he just took that and was like, I'll just make that mine thing too. Salsa dancing, like who's afraid to salsa dance?
yeah. What exactly is so fucking traumatic and terrifying about like dancing, which is arguably some of the most fun music on the planet?
That's number one on the list of things that scared him. Okay, public speaking, writing a book, Olympic handball. Okay, I don't know why that would be scary to you. That seems like something that's interesting to you.
Why exactly writing a book? This is like a question I have for all of them. Like, can you just not? How about you don't write a book?
How about not, Scott?
How,
I
how
don't know.
about like asking yourself, do I have any expertise in anything?
No.
No. So stop there.
It's like that,
Just go like that was it.
It's like those maps where it's like, okay, start here. Do you have a good idea? No. And then no matter what you do, the answer is like yes at the end, but you go down the different possibilities, but it all ends up of like, yes, scam people online.
School of Greatness.
School of Greatness. LLC. Okay, and even launching my own business. Not only do I overcome my fears and get back in the game of life, but I find my passion again. All right, so he decides to make a list of things that scare him, and then he very specifically accomplishes all of them, and none of them are very scary in reality. Okay. Now, he sort of skips over a big part, and I think for now we should jump to a different article and fill in the gaps a little bit. Because now he's talking about...
I like this investigative Kayla coming out.
Yes. Because now we're talking about like, okay, I wrote a podcast, whatever. But he made $1 million allegedly before starting the podcast. And I feel like that's important to bring up. And he had a business partner who he does not acknowledge other than in passing and refers to him as my partner, my business partner, but does not by name recognize him ever. I found him. He seems like an okay dude. I didn't find any like glaring, like this man has been arrested for something. So it's sort of surprising why he does that. But I think it's to, again, downplay the story to make it seem like he was on the couch, started the business of the podcast, and that's his success. But in reality, he did a little bit of scammy webinar stuff in between that got him to make a lot of money.
I love those webinars where they pretend like they're there and they're doing it live, but it's actually all pre-recorded.
Hey guys, welcome.
Oh,
Good to see you.
Let me just plug in my microphone. Like, oh, just shut up, Dean. I'm thinking of Dean.
Dean Graziosi. Yes, he is the webinar king, and I have a feeling. Well, we saw that he interviewed him on the show, so they do have some at least tangential connection. But I'm sure they're all connected in some creepy way. Okay, so here we go. This gives a little bit more into detail than his own bio on his website. Okay, this is on Forbes, which is not to be trusted, but we'll take it with a grain of salt and we'll read it. How Lewis Howes went from living on a sister's couch, just a random sister, not his own, just a random woman who happens to have a sibling.
Who wrote this? There's no editors at Forbes.
Emma Johnson, gender equality by way of single moms, whatever that means. Okay.
Gender equality, and she writes about Lewis Howes. Okay, that's interesting. An interesting choice for gender equality.
Yeah. Well, again, now you see this little icon. This is the scam of Forbes. We should talk about this at some point in the future. Opinions expressed by Forbes contributors are their own. So you and I could become Forbes contributors tomorrow, and it doesn't matter.
Very much like those Twitter bios, opinions my own, even though I have a job. The opinions are not the job's opinions, just so you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just gives you this, it looks like, wow, Emma Johnson reporter, but it could just be Emma Johnson,
former contributor,
former child, no, expertise needed to write this. Okay. Lewis Howes grew up depressed, functionally illiterate, and headed, he worried, for jail like an older brother. Now, again, I don't know why she says an older brother. She meant his older brother, who was in jail for selling. Now, I thought the way he talks about this, and maybe we should watch a little video too of him kind of giving this explanation as well about his past. I would have thought his brother killed somebody, murdered in cold blood and just hammered the guy in the head. He sold weed to an undercover cop.
Ooh. Mistake right there, big mistake.
Yeah, bad mistake, not good, but also not the way that it makes it seem I was scared, I was headed for jail just like him because it was in my DNA. It's
why is she starting that with functionally illiterate? I feel like this is roasting him. Just be
he likes this. This is what he wants people to know.
Sad, depressed, idiot, can't read.
But now he has money, so all good. Yeah. Okay, and this was written back in 2015. Okay, so maybe this is old. It's still accurate, but old for the handball stuff. Today, he's on the U.S. Olympic handball team, has launched and sold a 7-figure, which is $1 million, at least, dollar business, and is on a mission to help 100 million people live their dreams. Raised in Delaware, Ohio, as the youngest of 4, Howes, 31, which is our age, which is crazy. You're 31, right? You're 32.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to turn for another 2 weeks. No, 1 month. Actually, today, 1 month from today, I'm turning 32.
Happy birthday! Happy early birthday!
And I don't have a 7-figure business. Damn it!
I got a 4-figure business.
Whoa!
I made 4 figures in 12 months. Hey!
Yeah, but that's fine. I'm just gonna go into debt and go to Lewis's retreat and ask him all his secrets.
Okay, good. That's a good start. You got a whole month. That you can make it happen. He can do the impossible. Okay. Here we go back into the family. What do you call it? Family, not drama, but I don't know, dirt. Trying to shade. That's the word. Shade. Family shade.
Okay.
Okay. He struggled to gain attention in his family, especially over the frequent arguments of his parents. Quote, they met in college where they were both opera majors. They wanted to be professional singers, says Howe's today. Instead, they started a family at age 19, and Howe's dad worked 3 jobs, including laying concrete, and struggled financially for years until later in life when his father succeeded in the insurance business. Now, I have a feeling that success happened while Lewis was a child.
Yeah, later in his life, not Lewis's life.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, well, my parents were poor when they were 19. Apparently somehow affects Lewis's life, or is part of, he's trying to, in my opinion, make it seem like, oh, we financially struggled, even though by the time I was born, my dad was rich.
Yeah. Well, clearly, like, if he was so felt so entitled that his dad just, like, as he wakes up from a coma to help him out, he didn't, and his sister started to ask him money, like a bitch. Yeah.
She's the worst, and she's also going to call her an alcoholic in a second. So thanks, sis, for the couch, but I'm going to, put you on blast on this Forbes article. Okay. They weren't happy. They weren't making money doing what they loved, says Howe. There were miserable times. Okay. Again, wrong use of the word. Oh no, actually no, that's wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a dummy. I'm basically illiterate too.
Functionally.
I'm functionally illiterate also. Sorry.
Not just illiterate, okay? Thank you.
I'm non-functioning illiterate. There were miserable times, and that tension in the house impacted us kids. Okay, so your parents had arguments. Thanks, Kendall Sue.
Thanks, Kendall. This is so sweet.
Yes, you can get an "Oh, I love that sound," which is.
Oh, I love that sound.
I forgot you had this one.
That's the best one. That's still my favorite. Thank you for requesting that, Kendall. I think that was a nice break in the conversation. Okay. An older brother, again, his older brother, okay. His older brother spent time in jail after selling drugs to an undercover police officer, and his sister struggled with alcoholism, Howe said. It's so mean. It's
wow.
Like, okay. Just out them. Howe's suffered at school. He was placed in special education classes, but even so, school was torture. Quote, when we would go around the room and take turns reading, I would sweat and get chills waiting for my turn. I couldn't really read. I would fumble the whole time, he says. I got made fun of a lot, and I became really insecure about speaking in public. Okay, I think that is an adversity. I will give him that one. That is like something that is a struggle to deal with.
Why was it a struggle? Did he have dyslexia, or did he just not practice reading at all?
Unknown. His parents were fighting, so therefore he can't read or something. I don't know. I'm trying to find the connection between his brother in jail and his reading ability, but it's just like you got to find anything that's negative in your life and make it a part of your story. You just got to grasp for straws in some of these cases if really nothing's happened to you. You're like, my sister drinks scotch sometimes. Put it in there. Put it in the article. It'll add to your
sister didn't want to buy me a burger when I asked her to pass by the shops, and suddenly I couldn't read anymore.
My sister's alcoholism caused me to go blind. I don't know why, but it happens. He doesn't talk about this, but his mom, I believe, it was Christian Science, or is Christian Science. So there's that, which I think would have much more of an impact on all of their lives than the things that he's actually listed. Like, they weren't allowed, as far as I know, they weren't allowed to like have medicine or to believe, they had to believe that it was all in their head, like anything that would go wrong. So there's things that I find would be more compelling to bring into these conversations about how you ended up not being able to read. But there's, from my understanding about Christian Science, they seem to be sort of afraid or against seeking help for medical issues, and maybe dyslexia was considered a medical issue. I don't know. That's kind of like a far out guess of why he might not have gotten extra help.
Because that might require Lewis to have some awareness.
Yeah, and he was a kid,
self-awareness,
too.
social awareness. Well, yeah, but now when he's writing this,
true, yeah, like he probably thinks it's a positive. for him, like that he grew up in that way.
He probably doesn't know anything. Does he understand that was, I don't know.
I don't
If
think
he
so.
did, maybe he would, because there's so many like TikToks going viral, like I'm an ex-Mormon, like here's the tea, and I feel
Yeah.
like this could have been the tea, like on something.
No, I think he still likes it because having Joe Dispenza on makes total sense, and having Bob Proctor come on makes total sense if you're in Christian Science, in my opinion. From what I understand about it, I don't know everything, obviously, but like, it's all in your head. If you just like pray enough, if you just meditate enough, you can become like healed. So that would be detrimental, I think, growing up in that environment personally. But he doesn't think so. It's more about his dad getting in a car accident that causes issues.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a funny part. Now, to me, Lewis is like, I'm not really attracted to him now, but I can see how he's like a conventionally attractive person now. And the pictures I've seen of him as a kid, he looks about the same. So to me, he seems like a guy that was good looking for the most part, played on the football team. Yet this is how he describes himself in this time frame. Miserable at home and in the classroom, a really tall, ugly, stupid child with acne who didn't have any friends.
And functionally illiterate.
That's how Lewis Howe describes himself. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I remember him talking about how hard it was for him to ask girls out, and that was the first thing that he ever overcame. And that's how he realized you just have to train discipline, blah, blah, the full like self-help shtick after just basically being denied, being rejected by a girl. Like
one time.
Yeah, I've read this and I've seen loads of like TikToks on this topic of men being like, do you know what's men's like worst nightmare? And women being like, I don't know, but like mine would be to just be followed home, or like, my life's in, and he's like, being rejected. And I'm just like,
God.
This is exactly what Lewis's story sounds like. You got rejected by a girl, and then he was like, oh my God, I need to ask out all the girls to just like teach myself that I can succeed. Like, just fuck off.
Yeah. He seems to have a type with women, at least from what he's kind of been pretty public about his relationships. He seems to have overcome that now. He seems to go for, conventionally attractive women, and he posts about them very often, and they're like in bikinis and models and all of that. So I guess it worked. Whatever he did.
Yeah.
Being really tall,
like,
wow.
Even though he got rejected once when he was 14, like he did managed to get girls, bitches,
bitches,
like,
hella bitches.
Yeah,
And
bitches.
Being tall was really, women hate that.
They just me too.
Are you 5'6" or taller?
Disgusting.
Gross.
Are you an athlete in high school? Oh.
Do you play for the football team? Ew, what?
Ew.
And you're 6'2"?
You play handball.
Wait, do you have a pimple? I'm out. I was in, but now I'm out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lewis. Is your name spelled Louis? No? Ugh.
Ew. Disgusting.
Okay, and here we go now into the part where it's like a little bit, we go like, what? To me, I read this and I was like, what the fuck is this? Okay. Now we talked about the financial insecurity, right? Already. Like, they kind of left it up to your interpretation, at what point did they find success, okay? But every summer, Howe's parents sent their kids to a Christian summer camp. And one year, Howe's became friendly with a few kids who attended a boarding school in St. Louis. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks, Allison.
She's in the Hippo Squad. Allison Smith in the Hippo Squad. For that, I will say... This is a piece of advice for you, Allison, and for everyone listening.
Turns out you can have a full life without putting it all on social media.
You can.
Says Dave.
And also, just a reminder, I always like to remind everybody of this fact about Rachel Hollis.
I am not problematic.
There you go.
Come on. Oh, come on.
Just like to
That
throw that
was
in
so
there.
sad. I am not problematic.
I said this in my stream the other day, but it's so ironic that she said that and then literally deleted the podcast and took that line out. I'm like, that if that doesn't mean that you are problematic, I don't know what does. But anyways, thank you, Allison. We really appreciate it.
That was sweet.
Okay, so now he goes to summer camp every summer. And then one year, Howe became friendly with a few kids who attended a boarding school in St. Louis. Okay. Quote, something about their energy really connected with me, he says. They were so welcoming and interested in creativity and having fun, not judgmental or gossipy. I immediately thought, this is the kind of energy I want to be around. Oh, and shockingly, it was rich people, I'm assuming, if they're in boarding school.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, I was not happy in my small town, and I found myself being someone I didn't want to be, stealing, lying, and cheating, and not feeling good inside. I needed to make a change. I knew I couldn't end up in prison like my brother, who sold weed to a cop. Like, again, like, the way he talks about his brother, I thought, this whole time, I thought the brother had murdered somebody. It's like... I get it. You don't want to be in prison for selling drugs. I get that. But like, was he a kingpin? Because it seems like it's just like a petty crime that happened. But
how long was he in jail for that? Because it sounds like the kind of thing that they release you from in like a couple of days.
I don't know. Prison though, prison is like a sentence. Like, you've been sentenced. You go to jail for temporary, you get let out, and then you have your court date, and then you know, punishment. I don't know. So maybe it was worse than I'm thinking. But, well, I mean, maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2 about his other part. But we'll watch a video where he kind of goes through this life and he talks about his brother. So maybe he mentions it there. But I forget. Okay. Upon returning home and relentlessly campaigning his parents, Howe attended the boarding school for 8th grade. So he campaigned his parents to send him to boarding school for the 8th grade. So his parents have got some money, okay, by the 8th grade that he got to now force his parents to, But don't be too excited about that. He's not that privileged, okay? Because, in parentheses, where he tested at a 2nd grade reading level and excelled at football.
But that's on him though. Like, what were you doing, Lewis? Why can't you read? Why is everyone reading and you're not? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. And maybe he does have dyslexia. I don't know.
He comes out with a story of having dyslexia, then I don't understand. Like,
yeah, maybe he just...
Seriously, dude, it's just lazy. Like, go read.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Maybe he had struggles. He was in classes.
But now he reads all the time, though.
Yes, he reads
scabby books.
He can read self-help. He just can't read textbooks, I guess. It's a special condition. He excelled at football. Okay. I was never the biggest, fastest, or strongest, or best athlete on any team I've been on, but I was always willing to sacrifice more pain to make the plays. Okay, that's not good, especially in football. That's how you get CTE in your brain. Howe says today, that was my gift. I was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. It came from feeling all alone as a kid. I felt I had nothing to lose. I don't know. This just seems like a stretch. Like, you went to camp, you made friends, you forced your parents to send you to a boarding school to be with those friends, and now you're gonna say I was all alone. Like,
yeah, it sounds like teenage angst. That's what it sounds like. But this is written like when he's a total full-on adult.
Yes, this is 2015, so he was already in his 30s, I believe, at this point.
So
he's already a millionaire.
He's still a teenager at heart. Is that what's going on here? Has he not gotten over the teenage angst? Because that's meant to go away. Like, Lewis, if that didn't go away, you need to have yourself checked.
I just think it's a requirement in self-help in this industry to have a sob story that you've come from. And when you don't actually have that, you have to manufacture it. And I think that's the attempt here. And probably to see what sticks. Like, throw a bunch of shit out there and see what the comments say. Like, I am also functionally illiterate. This really spoke to me. And then you kind of craft your background to fit like what people identify with.
I don't even need to craft my background, because I bet if I was to say some of the things that happened, people would be like, what?
This is a self-hurt book, actually. Self-damage book. That's what I'm going to write.
Like, do you want to be traumatized? Because I've got some stories to tell.
Do you want to feel bad about me and my life? Here we go. Page 1. I was born.
Yeah,
Lewis.
this sounds like the popular kids at school, like being like, oh, I didn't have money to buy like the most expensive Nike shoes. I only had money for the like next to the most expensive one. There was like one that was $10 less, and I just bought that.
It's like, what was that model? I
so
forget her
sad.
name. She's like a famous model. She did an interview and she's like, I didn't have designer shoes until I was in high school. I was like, what?
Oh my God, so sad.
Oh God. It was like, she's like, Gigi, what's her name? I don't even know. I like refuse to like.
Hadid?
Yeah. What's her name? Hadid? Yes.
I think it's Gigi Hadid.
Yes, her, I believe. She's like, my mom bought me Louboutins for my graduation, and like I wasn't like the other kids. I was like not gifted with designer shoes. Like, okay, girl.
Yeah,
You'd
Jenna
be crazy.
Kutcher has a story like that. Basically, she was working as like this corporate executive, and she had this flat with like a pool, but they had a roommate, and
Not a roommate.
just yeah, she needed to change her life. Um, it was too tragic and too sad.
Write a book about it.
Yeah, 312 pages.
My roommate sometimes took my glassware and she took a day to wash it. I was in the trenches, guys.
Yeah, imagine how sad just having like when you're 22, having like a flat with like a fancy flat with a pool. Okay.
Yeah. When I was 22, well, actually, when I was 22, I had one roommate, but then I went to have 3 roommates after that, and that's too many. That's 3 too many at that age when you're working full time.
When I was 22, I was living in like a cupboard-sized room in Prague.
You were Harry Potter.
Literally, it was like the size of the bed.
Camellia Potter. I lived under the stairwell of my aunt's place. My parents are witches.
Yeah.
I have a wand.
And I also had 3 roommates, one of which was Spanish, so we had like plenty of loud music all day.
Does it scare you though? Was it scary? Did you overcome your fear of salsa music?
Oh my God, it was so scary. Like they would just sometimes come in the kitchen at the same time as me, and I was like, where do I go?
I'm scared. Before we move on, thank you so much, Mai, for the super sticker. I love reading what they're described as. Hippo character and tactical gear does tactical flanking maneuver hand gestures. That sounds very entertaining, and I'm glad that you've selected that sticker. Thank you.
Yeah.
And for that,
We have a tactical
freaking privilege.
for that hippo. And here's a question that I want to ask of you.
What happened to dinosaurs?
Yeah, what happened to hippos?
What happened to tactical hippos? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, you ready? We're not even at the part yet, or the fill in the blank part yet. We're still like reliving his childhood drama, but we're almost there, I promise. Okay. All right, we already know this. He went on to play.
It's so important.
I know, I'm sorry. We got to go into detail. I haven't even heard from him yet, but everyone's like, who is this guy? It's like we've shown his picture once. Okay. He eventually went on to play college, then play professional arena football. Oh, thank you, A. Smith.
Thank you, A. Smith.
We appreciate
You're not John Smith, you're A. Smith.
He's A. Smith. A sister and A brother.
A. Smith.
A. Smith. I'll just play this one.
I want to be relatable.
I want to
Me
be
too.
A. Smith. Okay. Me 3. All right. He went to play arena football in Huntsville, Alabama, where he earned $250 per week. This was the Bush League, and we played on a hockey rink covered in AstroTurf. If 20 people showed up, you felt like a god, he remembers. There were these sponsors around the wall of the rink, and a chicken tender sponsor paid a $25 bonus if we got a touchdown, then ran and touched his poster. I don't know what that means,
What is
but
this story?
okay. Basically, he was saying he was broke and he was playing arena football. And then he broke his wrist in 2007. His bank account was also broke. He moved in with his sister in Ohio, went through rehab for 1.5 years, I guess for his wrist. I don't think he meant alcohol rehab or drug rehab. I think he means
I thought he moved
physical.
in with his alcoholic sister while his alcoholic sister was going through it.
Her couch was actually at Malibu. What is that one called? It's like there's a famous Malibu rehab center called, like, not Passions, but it's called something. I don't know. All the celebrities go there. Her couch was actually at Passions Malibu Recovery Center.
Thank you, A. Smith.
Thank you, A. Smith. Let's mix it up. Here's something to remember, A. Smith.
It's okay to cry.
That's your tip of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. He moved in with his sister in Ohio, went through rehab, I'm assuming for his wrist problem, for 1.5 years, and found himself with few professional job skills at the height of the 2008-2009 recession. Okay, very unfortunate. During this time, Howe's depressed and aimless. Okay, just got to make sure we got that depression in there.
Functionally illiterate. Thank you.
It's called Promises Malibu. His sister actually her couch was at Promises Malibu. Okay. So this is where where the inspiration begins. And again, they didn't even bring up the dad in this article, which I find is so weird that he would put that on his website, but then in this article about his life, they don't even mention it. It's not even mentioned. Okay, whatever. Anyways, during this time, Howe's depressed and aimless was watching the Beijing Olympics on TV and happened to catch coverage of the handball event. I was mesmerized, but also pissed off. I was pissed. I'd never seen this before, but I thought this could be my sport. Okay. Now, all right, follow the logic here. He's watching the Olympics. He's on his sister's couch. He sees handball and he's pissed off because he's like, I would be so good at that. Okay, now this is going to inspire his story. Howe's learned that the best U.S. club was in New York City. I decided right there I would make money so I could move to New York to practice with this team, he says. But my time was running out. I was already 25 years old. Okay, so now he's like, so he convinced his parents to send him to boarding school, and now he's going to convince himself to make money to go to New York. This is his logic of things. He's just like, he has an inspiration, and then he goes all in to accomplish it for some reason.
Why was he doing nothing at 25?
Because his wrist hurt. I don't know.
For how long?
A year and a half.
Jesus Christ. My friend had she fell off the bike and her entire bone was broken, and in a couple months she was fine. She worked the whole time.
The recession, I don't know. He didn't finish college, I don't think so. He didn't have any skills, and he couldn't play football, so I don't know. He was aimless and depressed.
Like Lewis, coming from this poor family, decided at 25, I should probably make some money.
Yeah, to go play handball in New York City.
Okay.
Okay, so back at his sister's house, Howe spent hours every day on the internet learning to read better, somehow, watching videos on personal development, and trying to figure out a business model that would help him earn enough to move to New York to pursue handball. A mentor, who shall not be named, apparently, a mentor mentioned LinkedIn as a place to start. He searched and was immediately mesmerized. Emma, the unwarranted reporter. He spent up to 8 hours a day on LinkedIn, connecting with influencers, figuring out how to maximize the tool, and eventually launched a LinkedIn group for sports executives, which grew to 10,000 members within a year. Okay, so
did he spend all these hours a day on LinkedIn because he was struggling with the reading?
He was learning to read.
Do you do LinkedIn for hours?
Click add for 8 hours straight.
This is so funny.
I guess when you had nothing else going on.
LinkedIn.
Have you ever heard of LinkedIn? Ooh, I'm mesmerized. Oh my God. LinkedIn, I don't know what it was like back then, but it's horrible now. It's such a horrible place.
Never been like a welcoming place.
I was walking to my job interview today and I saw a homeless man, and then I decided to give him my job because that's the type of person I am. And then it turned out that the homeless man was actually the CEO in disguise. And then I became a millionaire. Share your story today. Like, that's all it is.
Is that doorman that you just channeled?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like every LinkedIn influencer that's online right now. I'm so grateful for this opportunity with insert company name here. It is such a great experience that I will be experiencing by working here. It's like, ugh.
Did he ever consider like applying to jobs on LinkedIn?
No. He's there for
I
the
feel like most people
influence.
go on LinkedIn to apply to jobs, but not Lewis. Lewis was reading for hours.
He's reading, he's influencing on LinkedIn. Thanks to a mentor's guidance or whatever. Okay. All right. So he grows it to 10,000 within a couple months, or within a year. Sorry, 10,000. Okay. Then members started to contact me and tell me my group helped them land jobs and consulting gigs. Others offered to pay me to coach them on using LinkedIn for business. And still, this is a man who's unemployed. Okay. All right. But anyways. And still, others urged me to build a business based on what I knew about social media. I started hosting live mixers for those interested in these ideas. And through this contact, I was invited to make... Okay, so this contact, again, he who shall not be named, I was invited to make a guest presentation on a webinar of social media giant Joe Com. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Joe Com.
It's a social media giant, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yes, social media giant who I've never heard of in my life.
The most famous person in the world.
Joe Millionaire.
Joe Com sounds very bad.
It was actually a gay porn website that I've now been featured on. JoeCom.com.
What?
I don't know. Sorry.
Somebody
I'm so
go
sorry.
to work if we have any like programmers watching. Just joecom.com needs to become a thing.
Yeah, it says, I just looked it up. Joe Com is the CEO of Infomedia, a social media consulting company. Okay, social media giant. Never saw this guy in my life. All right. Who cares? All right, he got the opportunity. I realized I loved making public presentations, sharing what I knew. At the end of my presentation, I mentioned my PayPal account and said they could sign up for advanced LinkedIn training the following week. When I opened my email the next day, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, even more beautiful than any woman.
Now I can see why women would reject him. What the fuck?
There was $6,300 in my account. I felt like the richest person in the world, and that's apparently been selected as a tweetable moment in this article.
Well, yeah, 6,300 LinkedIn dollars.
Better than any woman.
Oh, just prettier, softer, smells better than any
Yes.
woman.
Much better than any woman I've ever seen. $6,300.
Like
He's a good
he
guy.
doesn't like women.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard rumors,
sure.
but we won't go into that today, at least. Okay, so from there, he became obsessed with public speaking and creating digital educational materials. Okay, we've heard this before. Courses, FACO webinars, that sort of stuff. Now, this is the stuff he's buried and on every other place. He skips over this whole part. This is the part that, he skips over in his thing. Doesn't want to talk about. Together with a partner, he created and sold webinars, ebooks, and other online training materials teaching people how to grow their careers through social media. Webinars were his tool of choice. Today, he has held more than 750 webinars as selling tools, including teaching others how to leverage their power. Whatever the fuck that means. Within the first year and a half, the company had grossed $1 million, and in the next 2 years, $2.5 million. Now, I will say grossed is not the same as profited. So he
Yeah.
could have spent $2 million and made $1 million and lost $1 million. Because they said grossed, I have a feeling that they promoted a lot of these webinars via Facebook ads, most likely YouTube ads. So maybe it was not profitable. Grossing is wonderful, but you know, it does not mean that there's money in your bank account.
Yeah, yeah, and I think people use that kind of thing to when they don't have. Let's say if they profited 100,000, it's not that impressive. If they gross that much, they will just say,
$1
I'm
million.
I'm even surprised they said gross and not made, because most I am a billionaire. I made like it's like, okay, are you sure? Because you might not be.
Well, the thing, because I think is that all the time in my business, like I could hire people to do the work for me. Like I could hire an editor, I could hire a videographer to do everything, and I could just take a portion off the top, but it doesn't make sense. Like it makes sense, I guess, if I don't want to do anything, but if I'm not profiting, like it really matters how much money is coming into me. I could say I grossed $100,000 last year, but actually took home 12,000. That's not really, to me, successful. And so people always say that and make it seem like so amazing. It really only matters if you're trying to impress people, to sell them something against that, because real business people, they want to profit, I think, more than gross, you know?
I made a movie with like some money behind it once, and we spent like easily 70% of the entire budget. We spent it.
Yeah.
Like there was just no way to make the movie without spending that money.
Course.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
oh my God.
you can't do anything without paying for it. You know, you can't hire someone and well, I guess you can, but like I wasn't gonna hire people and not give them money for their work. So
volunteer work. Become an intern with me for free.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
But
so
also,
interesting.
like, just I like how he calls it a partner.
A partner.
And I was just thinking, imagine if we just don't do the podcast like in a year, and now it'll be like, I once had a partner.
I had a co-host.
Never mention you
once
ever.
Now I looked it up.
I started my first business with a partner, and then I made money.
Yes. And I see Soko Lashes, who is a very successful businesswoman, I will say, gross 1.8 mil. Hell yeah, girl. And took home around 450. That is still amazing. Gross is vanity. Net is sanity.
Yeah.
Therefore.
Yeah. Well said.
That's well said. And
it's okay to cry
if you're not making that. Everybody. But that is very impressive. Okay, and I looked up the guy who is the partner. I had to do some digging, but this is, what a wonderful profile photo on LinkedIn. Yeah, ironically on LinkedIn, here's his profile photo of the alleged partner.
Wow. Just the social media experts, or?
Yes, he's passionate about marketing, online sales, and data.
Wow, the marketing in this page is just
really good. It's very good. And this is the guy here, I believe. Now, I say this all allegedly because this is just what I've been able to piece together through my own, sleuthing. It may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But this guy.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh my God. This is the marketing genius.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Okay.
Sorry.
What?
Okay.
Have you heard of editing, sir?
Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Sandro here on New Life. I'll start over again.
What the fuck is this? I didn't watch this before.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Sandro here with a very special guest on New Lifestyle Secrets, Sean Malarkey. He is the Twitter expert. And we just spent the weekend together here at the Sheraton Hotel for a special event. And we're wrapping it up right now.
It's so uncomfortable.
And enjoying the sunset. So, yeah, it's really bright. So excuse the squinting. But I'd just like to, introduce you to Sean.
And this guy probably is like, I make amazing YouTube content. My business is booming. I talk to entrepreneurs about their businesses, and like, this is the content that they're actually making.
Oh my God, I'm so underselling myself. Like,
right?
I'm having an identity crisis right now. Like, why? Oh God. Well,
he literally put that out there and was like, this is something that the world needs to see. me coughing and saying start over 4 times and then posting it raw. Has 114 views.
And just filming on an iPhone or something.
He's at the Sheraton. Sure. You see their shadows in the background. So funny. So that's the guy that Lewis apparently partnered with in the beginning of his career and then has buried ever since. Is there something else going on there? Probably. Non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, because he's not mentioned anywhere. So that's him. So that was a little add-on. Okay, I'm gonna go through this part fast because I'm getting bored. I want to like hear from him at least a little bit towards the end. Okay, so he grossed $205 million in 2 years. All right. By then, I had finally moved into my own apartment in Columbus and was paying $495 per month in rent, he says. In 2012, Howe moved to New York, rent $3,700 to play with a handball club there. Quote, I'd never played before, and all the players were European professionals laughing and talking about me in their languages, he recalls. 9 months later, Howe was picked for the U.S. national handball team and is currently training for the Olympics. Okay, so everyone...
Does he know they were laughing about him if they were laughing and talking in their languages? Like, was Lewis suddenly, from being a literate man, suddenly understood all of the European languages?
Je suis tu t'appelles Louis House? Boo!
We heard you're illiterate.
Louis House bad at handball? Ooh, he no mal bad or what's bad? Mal handball? Ooh.
Depends on what you want to say.
Nipple skills. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably
Louis House.
Exactly how it went. But what kind of like self-absorbed like fucking players? Like they're all talking and laughing about me. Like, can you just chill, dude? There's probably more players than you there.
He has to make every accomplishment that he's accomplished have an adversity. Like, I did accomplish this goal, but it was really hard for me, and I actually overcame a lot to accomplish it. It's like, okay, bro, sure. Like, I'm sure it wasn't like I'm sure it was like a horrible experience for you to be in New York City and playing handball and making the Olympic team. That sounds very tragic for you.
Yeah, sounds like Gabby Bernstein with her like years of partying in New York City. Like, oh, so sad.
It's awful. I had to go to my cousin's club. It was so bad. Okay, 2 years ago, so this is in 2015. So in 2013. Howe sold his education company to his partner, okay, that's the malarkey guy, and launched his podcast, School of Greatness, which aims to help people make a living doing what they love. Yeah, okay, listening to Joe Dispenza talk about healing Parkinson's really makes me want to accomplish my goals in life. Okay, it's been downloaded 5 million times and consistently ranks in the top 5 on iTunes. This month, Howe is launching Greatness Magazine on iTunes. I don't think that lasted. And has signed with Rodale a book contract for a title based on the same concept that have helped him find his own success. Okay, so that did come out, the School of Greatness book or something, Finding Greatness or some shit. Okay. Howe says his goal is to reach 100 million people, whether through podcasts, articles, public speaking, or his book. The goal is to save people from being unhappy in their lives because they are unhappy in their careers, which Howe's experienced firsthand as a child.
When was he unhappy in his career as a child?
No, his parents were unhappy, therefore he was unhappy too.
No, but he knows firsthand. That's firsthand experience.
Oh, secondhand.
Being unhappy in your job. Like,
he never had a job.
Lewis never had a job. What does he know about being happy in your job? That's
all these people
bullshit.
Who talk about business and entrepreneurship have never fucking had a job. Like, Rachel Hollis barely had a job. She had an internship and then started her own company. Gabby was a club promoter for her cousin's business. Never actually had a job. Jenna, I guess, did have a job at Target. I'll give her that. Lewis never had a job. Tom Bilyeu worked as like a film teacher. I guess that's a job, but barely.
And then he also had that job in a tech company where they raced to pee faster.
Oh, yeah, true. And Marie Forleo had a job for like a week on Wall Street. So some had jobs. Okay, I'll take it all back. Everything I said is a lie. Okay, here's his keys to success. This is finally what we need. His keys to success. Number 1, set your goals high. Howe set out to play professional football, then make the Olympic handball team, then build $1 million business. He did all 3.
Wow.
Surround yourself with greatness. Early on, Howe's counted as mentor. I think she meant to say counted on. Or I don't know what the fuck she means by this. This is what I'm going to read it.
A mentor.
Yeah, true. This is what it says. I don't know what it means. I don't know what Deckers is. Whatever. Early on, Howe's counted as mentor Stuart Jenkins of Deckers, and later went on to network with greats in the digital marketing world, including Chris Brogan, Marie Forleo, and Gary Vaynerchuk. Quote, "You are the sum of the people you spend time with," Howe says. Okay, Chris Brogan, not sure who that is. That's not Chris Hogan, who is part of the Dave Ramsey universe. This is Chris Brogan. I don't know who that is.
No idea.
We know the other 2. Okay, this is sort of funny. This is the last thought. 3, go all in. In the past 4 years, training as a handball athlete, House has suffered 2 torn groins, internal throat bleeding, a sprained ankle, and other serious injuries. It sounds like he's bad at sports.
Yeah.
How did you suffer internal throat bleeding, sir?
Wow. Okay.
I was swallowing a knife on the side of the road for cash, and I cut my throat. It's like, wow.
When I was a child, I fell and almost broke my wrist. I now have that as part of my trauma from
Yeah.
and that's my rags to riches trauma.
I was scared of salsa dancing, but I'm not scared of internally bleeding in my throat.
I am scared of the most fun things that I ever do.
Yeah, I'm really scared of getting a massage today.
I'm so scared of going out and drinking later.
Yeah. I hate exploring new places. It's so scary.
Yeah, traumatic. My
Okay.
stupid dad won't
My stupid
get out of
dad.
his coma.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing a self-help speech? Like, my dad was unhappy because he didn't really like his insurance job that made him a lot of money. And this asshole also was in a coma. Can you believe it? How did I survive? Well, here are my 4 steps to survival.
My dad had a job. Let me tell you all about having a career and how your unhappiness in your career is ruining your children's lives.
Yeah. If you make money and if you make a life for your family, just don't, because it's actually worse for them
quit.
ultimately. Just quit, please. Okay, let's just watch. This is a short one. This is my thoughts. I think we should do a part 2 where we talk about like his offerings, because there is a lot with like his coaching, his one-on-one coaching thing, his mastermind, his like academy, his live event, and that sort of thing. But I just think his like backstory is so interesting because it's so weird, obviously, and ever changing and fluid. So I think we should stick to the backstory for today, and then maybe a part 2 either next week or in the future. We can dive more into it. Oh, there's also sexual abuse. We didn't talk about that yet. He does.
Yeah, I remember him mentioning that. But I never heard him go into details, so.
Yeah, these are all his like more stories about himself. So this one is 4 minutes. How I turned abuse into triumph. Let's listen to that one. I think that's probably, let me switch to my other account so I can have no ads. Okay, here we go. Now we're finally hearing from Lewis.
I was sexually abused when I was 5.
An hour and a half into the stream. Okay. Now this is sort of sad. I mean, it's not sort of sad. It's very sad. So just trigger warning in advance. This gets a little bit more serious. He's going to talk in his own words about this stuff.
I was sexually abused when I was 5. Then my brother went to prison when I was 8. So for me, this was hard to grow up in a small town without many friends, feeling abused already from the sexual abuse that I faced, and just feeling disconnected in general from my family and from my friends and the world. It made me very defensive. It made me want to get as big and as strong and as fast as possible and successful as possible. Because the more I achieved, the more I felt like a worthy man. The bigger I got, the stronger I got, the more I felt like no one could ever hurt me again. And this darkness that I was feeling from all the pain and disconnection as a child, I put it into sports.
And I'll just say, I don't want to stop it too much, but like this is a totally different like origin story than we just read on his own website and read in that Forbes article. This is like a totally new thing. They talk a little bit about the prison, but you know, again, doesn't go into details. As like he went to prison, so you can assume it's like very bad, whatever the brother did. And then the abuse, and then that was what fueled him to be an athlete. Like that's a different origin story. So again, I think he just like tries on different things to see what sticks.
Yeah, to see what people are more saddened by.
Yeah, which it is horrible. Like that's obviously a horrible thing to happen, but it's just weird that he's kind of like like this is what, and it's also like this is something that Rachel Hollis does as well, where she'll say like, yeah, my parents taught me that, you know, achievement is love, and that if I achieve more, I'll be more loved, and finding success is, you know, is how I got attention as a kid, and it was actually really bad for me. But anyways, I'm really successful, and please buy my book, you know, so I can become more successful. It's like you're almost so close to like understanding kind of the issue with yourself, but yet they don't see it.
Yeah. I wonder if any of them actually work with like actual therapists, because they always say they do, but then you read their books and they're like clearly traumatized and like have made no progress and no understanding, and
Agreed.
Maybe I mean, just to be like the devil's aka Lewis's advocate here.
Please go on.
Maybe he didn't feel comfortable to come out with this stuff back then, and then over time, as he grew more famous, and he was like, oh, it's fine, I'm still like in my room here to bring people. Maybe he became comfortable here. He was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I just wonder, I guess like maybe you don't put it on your website, I suppose, because he puts a lot of other very personal details. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I need to know any of these details, to be honest, necessarily. But I think, like I said, it's part of the narrative of the self-help guru and self-help platformer to also have your own story of like Mel Robbins also has a story of sexual abuse. You know, she kind of does go into detail about it, but it just seems to be, I don't know, almost like part of like a lot of these people's backstory. I don't know if there's any common. I don't know.
Now also Gabby Bernstein has remembered.
She has it too. I got the book so I could find out what it is.
Good luck. Enjoy that, because the Spirit Junkie was so hard to read. But yeah.
But anyway, it just seems, it's interesting. I'll just say that. It's interesting that they all kind of seem to share a similar trauma. But okay, let's continue. Now he's talking about sports. And I'm sorry about the music. It's so loud.
Master this. Fully used up as a human being.
How did he jump from that story to I'd rather have no friends but make money? Like, I don't understand. What's the logic there? Like, you're telling the story of you beating some guy up, and then suddenly you're like, I would rather have no friends and make money. Like,
chase my dreams.
Sorry, what, Lois?
Okay.
Exactly.
What are your dreams?
Where did we lose you here? Because you got lost. There's a little disconnect.
I'm missing the connection between the pickup basketball game where he beat the shit out of some guy and was trembling, and then doesn't need friends because he's pursuing his passions of
I don't know how
helping people.
It seems like something was cut.
Yeah, something was cut out. He's like, actually, that guy was my friend, but I kicked his ass, so I don't need friends anymore. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Like, what is that? I don't know.
But I will give him that, the fact that he got into a fight and then he was like, oh shit, this is the way to go to prison, like my brother or something. and he never did it again, then I would be like, okay, fair enough, like you learned something there, which is good, because you could be, but like, I don't know. Is it like, I don't want to be mean or anything, but would that be the one time, or would it be like, oh, I used to beat up men or guys all the time, and this one time I just started to like beat him to the point where there was blood.
And he also like sets it up. This is a common theme too. It's like they're gonna admit something that they're ashamed of, but then they're gonna set it up and pad it with all of this like good reasoning for why they did what they did. It's like, well, I'm really ashamed that I beat the shit out of this guy, but like he did headbutt me, and we were both very aggressive, and he was also being very aggressive, and like, he basically had it coming, and I snapped because he headbutted me first. So it was actually me returning the punch. It wasn't me starting the fight, but I'm very ashamed of it, and
but that's okay. I will never have friends again.
But yeah, so what I learned from that is people will always disappoint you, and it's better to just not have them in your life.
Yeah, make money, fuck people. Like
that's what he thinks the biggest problem in humanity is, that people have too many friends. Okay.
Yeah, I was fully used up. Exactly how you're beating some guy up, like he was being used up. Like, what are you talking about?
No, he's saying he wants to. So he's switched gears now, and I think the thing that's throwing me off the most is like the music. It's like I beat him up, and it's like dun dun dun, like as if this is like an amazing like wow motivational story. Okay, he's rather have 0 friends. Wait, hold on. Let's just listen to that part again. I think that's the biggest mistake human beings make.
I think the biggest mistake human beings make. I'd rather have 0 friends and chase what I love than live an average life and have all the friends in the world. Or would I rather say, you know what, I went for it. I was fully used up as a human being. I chased everything my heart desired. Whether I achieved it or not, at least I went for it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be on.
Friends are not
Focus
worth it.
on letting go of the things that hold you back.
Honestly, it's
Focus
very
on letting
sad.
go of the mindset that holds you back, on the stories you tell yourself that hold you back, on the people that hold you back, on the experiences you've had that hold you back. Let them go and start focusing on what's going to move you forward towards that dream you have inside of yourself. The dream.
He's like, me with men. That's all I'm seeing.
Like,
him with a bunch of
men. What
men.
about Tony? Is Tony not your friend? Did you let Tony go? Do you know what this sounds like? I mean, I am, okay, guys, I mean, at this point, you probably know this, but I am a cynical person, okay? I'm not going to just like fall for this BS. But here's what it sounds like to me. I let all my friends go. I would rather pursue money. What it sounds like to me is...
He said he had no friends in the beginning.
First of all, probably just paid some people to do work for you, or underpaid some people. You were not afraid when somebody was like speaking up for themselves to just like cut them off out of your life. And here you are with no friends.
That's a good thing, because he's solved humanity's crisis.
Yeah, because he made more profit, because he didn't pay that person or whatever, or I don't like. It sounds to me like that. You know what I mean? It sounds like using people and then cutting them out of your life once they no longer serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. And then you don't need people. It's fine. You don't need friends.
The thing to me, it's like, okay, I always wonder, like, all right, if you don't need friends because you're so passionate about whatever, it's like the thing that's whatever. It's like, what is your passion? Oh, interviewing people, half of them or more being scammers and sort of like grifting type people who have very sketchy backstories and are trying to sell shit to the audience. That's the passion you're going to give up all your friends and family for? It's kind of like, I mean, I guess it's the money. The money is the reward of that. But like, it just, they put themselves on a pedestal. Like, I'm changing the world. I'm saving the world. It's like, bro, you have a podcast.
Yeah.
You interview Tony Robbins.
You have an extra room. You sit in that room just like I do. And that's it. That's all you do. Yeah.
Like I love what we do, and making content is so fun. I don't think I'm fucking changing, humanity in any way. I would love to, would love it, but I'm, you are, okay.
I have to.
Well, we beg to differ on that, okay, Cam?
I have found greatness, and I've chased it also.
I've been fully used as a person and I love it. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, bro.
And you can only come to me if you are just like above average. I don't just
Yeah. It's so
hang
fucked
out
up
with
to say that shit. Oh, I don't want to have an
basic
average life.
YouTubers.
Same with, this is exactly out of the mouth of Rachel Hollis. Like, I don't want a regular ass marriage. I don't want a good marriage. I don't want a great marriage. I want an exceptional marriage. And then literally gets divorced. I don't want an average life. I want to be used up as a human. It's like, what is wrong with you? These are things to tell your therapist and for them to work on with you, not aspirational things to share with the world at large.
Yeah.
Personally.
It's literally just super cringe to have a whole thing called #greatness.
#greatness. And by greatness, I mean...
this is like the kind of thing that...
Sorry.
Exactly. This is like the kind of thing that like drunk uncles talk about at like dinner. It's like, yeah,
Hey,
we heard this
friend.
story 100 times. Yeah, you were great. Like, oh, just,
At Thanksgiving. I don't need any friends. Friends always disappoint you. Anyway, so I was talking to Tony Robbins yesterday on a plane, and he said that I'm great. So,
Yeah, exactly. So this friend doesn't want to talk to me, but that's fine. I don't need anyone. I would rather make money. Like, okay, what's the...
Friends hold you back. That's a quotable.
Yeah, friends hold you back when they no longer want to be your friend.
Yeah. I made 750 webinars about LinkedIn. I also have no friends. Lewis Howe's story. Okay. Thanks, Lewis.
That's just me too.
I was also a professional football player.
I made $70.
Yeah.
I also have no friends.
If you follow my path to success, you will also have no friends. Do you want to have no friends and some money?
I want to be alone forever.
Follow my 7-step process of devaluing everyone in your life. Number 1, focus on yourself. Okay. All right. Now we're going to see him talking to a bunch of men in different time periods.
And start focusing on what's going to move you forward.
White
that
men
dream you have
specifically.
inside of yourself.
Oh, okay.
The dream will guide
Mostly
your
white.
direction. It will
There's a
put you
woman.
on the right path. When
There's a
you
woman.
do or follow something that isn't your dream, you will always be on the wrong path. So listen to the heart. Lean into
The heart. Listen to the heart. Whose heart?
dream.
Imagine going on a date with him.
Lean into the dream.
Yeah. What is your
I can't imagine that.
vision for the next 10 years? Describe it to me. Imagine just how
being
cringe.
friendless.
Yeah. I have no friends. We will not go on trips or anything.
Yeah, me and Sean Malarkey. That's probably who he's talking to because he doesn't mention him. He's like, oh, me and Sean Malarkey are no longer friends. He doesn't want to be my friend anymore. So friends hold you back.
Yeah. No need.
Yikes.
Sean Malarkey dropped me as a partner, but that's fine. I would rather make money.
I'd rather podcast about my feelings than have someone hold me back. Okay, here's his... Oh, he's a BetterHelp dude. Wonderful. He's a BetterHelp
Of course he is.
sponsorship.
I mean, would he refuse a sponsorship from anyone? Like, does this look like a guy who would say no to anything?
No. Oh, apparently he has a new website, greatness.com. Oh, Lord. I haven't seen him talk about this at all. It says greatness.com. Meet our new site. We want to text him?
Oh, no.
I'm sure that's not a scam.
It's all good. I'm good.
He's got a
Or
TikTok.
maybe we should text him and be like, oh, hey, Lewis. So how cringe are you on a date? Because it sounds like you have the worst stories.
Like, thanks for texting me. Here's a link to my course.
You want to be great? Here's how to improve yourself.
Well, he has a whole section on relationships. It's like, it sounds like you don't really like those very much.
Yeah.
Lewis. Anyways.
Yeah, there were some rumors that he cheated on his girlfriend.
I heard that.
Previous girlfriend.
I did hear that. Oh, one thing I want to bring up, and I sent it to you privately, but maybe to end the show. If you watch this episode and you're like, damn, I actually really like Lewis. I want to be closer to him. I want to be his friend, despite you're like one of those people who's like, I can fix him. This opportunity might be for you. They're actually hiring. He's hiring a video and a podcast producer. So I thought we might be able to read that job description because it seems like a lot of work. And I'd rather not do a lot of work if I had the choice. So it did come up on my, like, hey, you might be interested in this job. And I was like, okay, let's see. So I have to find it. So bear with me. The expert on LinkedIn. Hold on. Let's find this Greatness Media. Why can't I click on it? There you go. Jobs. Okay. They're hiring a few different jobs. Video and podcast producer was the one that popped up for me. So it's in LA. You have to be in LA. He doesn't list the salary, of course, because you gotta fight for your life to get money in this world. But here it is. Dream bigger, live better, make an impact, okay? The School of Greatness inspires conscious achievers around the world to live greater in their lives, love deeper in their relationships, except for friends, because who needs those, and leave a positive impact on the world. We pride ourselves on creating some of the most inspiring interviews, content, and media in the world to help people achieve their potential, destroy self-doubt, and chase their dreams. Our vision is a connected world of people who are living a life they love. As part of that pursuit, we practice what we preach, live what we say, over-deliver on our promises, and operate with the highest integrity. Founded in 2013 in Los Angeles, our growing team reaches around the world. What started as a curiosity to interview one mentor for a few people to learn from has grown to 200 million downloads, over 5 million social media followers, and hundreds of thousands of students engaged in our books, courses, coaching programs, events, and more. Okay, so they're hiring a producer who will be responsible for the strategy, creation, and editing of all audio and video content. You will work closely with the associate producers and other members of the creative, marketing, and production teams to transform ideas into long and short-form video, audio content for their marketing, their podcast, YouTube, American Public Television, which I don't know what that is because it's not PBS, it's APT, which I've never heard of before, and I saw that on his website. I don't know what that is, but anyways, the ideal candidate is experienced performing all video creation tasks, including pre-production, lighting, sound, shooting, editing. Bonus points if you have a fun personality and love to talk with people.
Okay, wow. You don't only need to do the work. And bonus points if you're a hot woman.
If you're hot, yeah. Bonus points if you're hot. Okay, it just seems like a lot of requirements, and then not to list the salary. Like this should be like a $100,000 to $200,000 job, I think, because it's like, especially with that much, money that he's allegedly bringing in all the time. Like this person should make a lot of money. I doubt that. I'm sure this is like $50,000. Honestly, is probably what they're offering, but whatever. That's my own thoughts.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah, these people do not fucking pay their employees. I don't know for him for sure, but in my experience with video people, yeah.
The guy from Ace Family paid like his videographer like $150.
It's insane. But the thing is like, oh, well, you'll get exposure. It's like, will I? Like, I'm holding the camera. How am I getting exposure? I'm not the star.
You'll be surrounded by successful people.
Great, wonderful. Can't wait.
How do I pay for my dinner with that?
How do I eat?
Thank you.
You don't eat friends. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I will be honest, this sounds like a nightmare job. First of all, because you have to tolerate Lewis. Imagine listening to Lewis every day. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I already listen to him enough on a daily basis.
I already listen to him every day.
Yeah. These are all the requirements. It's like lead all video creative direction. Okay, that's a lot. Lead strategy for growth, lead strategy for the podcast, like manage and direct all on-site staging, whatever. Manage a team of editors, manage the media for archives. Okay, that's a lot. You have to have 5 years experience in media, a bachelor's degree, experience shooting viral short
Bachelor's
form.
degree. I thought you
Preferred in digital media, cinematography, film studies, or related field. So you don't
But
have
isn't
to
like
have
that
it.
whole shtick of the self-help industry that you don't need studies and you don't need
He
anything?
didn't go to college. I mean, he went to college. He didn't finish. It's like, yeah, what do you want that for? They
just
want
say
it for
that you
their
need
employees.
to begin and to know the first step. Not that you need a bachelor degree for the job that pays like 15 grand a year or something.
Yeah, it's like go on YouTube and learn how to do this stuff. Watch his show and learn. I don't know.
No, they would not take people like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
It's just bullshit that they say, but look at what they do. They need people with a degree in media. Like, okay.
Yeah. Proven work experience, working closely with talent, understanding the discretion needed and the processes for interacting with talent. Interesting. And then ability to perform routine video and equipment maintenance. Yeah, right. A positive attitude and loves to work with a team that is changing the world. It's going to be in Century City at the School of Greatness studio. Typical work schedule, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with occasional weekend work. No fucking thank you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We've kept our
bar. I'm curious to know
believe.
what the price is, though, the salary.
Maybe we should send an email.
I know. Be like, hi, I'm interested.
Yeah, be like, so I criticize people on the internet. Will you take me?
Here's my portfolio. Here's my video about you specifically. What do you think? It's viral.
Yeah. What do you think of my skills as a cameraman?
Yeah. I put this whole thing together. What do you think? The content's a little bit out of our range, but, looks good.
That's okay. I believe in greatness.
Yeah. It just, and then this is like, I see no 401k, no dental, like there's none of the stuff, but like why you should join.
That's okay. Just believe and you will never get ill.
Yeah, we don't believe in doctors, so we don't offer you any insurance. We've kept our hiring bar really high. You will get to work with the best. Our company is growing quickly, so you'll get the opportunity to take on a lot of responsibility and grow a ton personally and professionally. Okay, this all sounds like red flags to me. You'll be around some of the most influential people in the world. No salary.
Like those corporations where you're like, oh, we'll have a better job for you. We want to put you in this. You have more responsibility. And you're like, what about the money? They're like, no, just more responsible. But don't worry. Someday you probably will be able to use this to just, do something else. It's like, okay, that's fun.
Not into it. I remember Marie Forleo had like a scandal with her LinkedIn post one time. It was like no drama or something. It was like no drama allowed here. You can't have a personality outside of these walls or something. It was like, what? So odd. They're very specific at what they want to hire, but then for them they're like mavericks that are changing and disrupting the world, but they want the most buttoned up staff possible. Rachel too. She wants brunch ready women at all times working for her. It's like, okay.
What?
Yeah, do you listen to her podcast about how to get promoted at her company essentially?
No.
So Rachel said that her employees when they had the office, you were required to wear pretend you were going with your girlfriends to brunch. That's the clothes you had to wear every day.
Brunch means like drinking.
Yeah, basically. You had to be cute.
Like I should be drinking every day at 11 a.m.
Yeah,
because that's
you had to dress cute.
Being an alcoholic.
And if you get
Are you
coffee,
an alcoholic? If yes, please apply.
If you have an alcohol problem, if you have alcohol dependency, this is
we
the
are
place
the
for
company for you. Oh my god, that was great. This is such a good episode.
This was a good episode. Do you want to do part 2 next week, or should we decide? We sick of Lewis? Yeah. Do we love Lewis? We love Lewis.
I'll be keen to do it next week.
Okay.
Oh, and Lewis has a conference that we were thinking of going to.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because we can watch who's been there before. It's actually one of the people is one that you love. What's her face? The one that Marissa Peer. Yeah, she's been featured there before.
Yay. Yeah. I'll go meet her in person. Be like, I'm the person you sued. Hi. How you doing?
Hi. You must have predicted this, didn't you? Yeah, that would be a rocking good time. We can go to Ohio together, the best state in the country.
Except we can't afford it. So we will need to help you guys. If you guys want to help us out, let us know. And maybe we can do like
ticket from Romania to Ohio.
And from Florida to Ohio, because
true.
Like
I definitely have to fly.
Oh my God! I forget. These people have like expensive tickets, don't they? Oh,
I don't remember what his is. I think it's like $200 or something, which is not cheap.
Okay, that would be doable.
It's doable. He has we can talk about this next week. He's got a program where he doesn't list the price, but says you have to apply, and it's a high ticket or a high investment. And I was trying to find the price. So I'm trying to look on Reddit to see if anyone's inquired, but it doesn't even list the price of how expensive it is. And it's a 3-year program, which I guess is like, okay, well, at least you get 3 years out of it, but it's very weird. And it's like health coaching plus Lewis business coaching. I don't know.
So
interesting.
Jenna Kutcher, in her book, she mentioned that she went to a mastermind. In the interview with Lewis, she said, I went to your mastermind. And then in the same book, she does talk about this again. And she says something like, I couldn't tell my husband how much this cost. So if that was expensive for Jenna Kutcher, who was a photographer who, according to her own story, made more than 6 figures.
Grossed.
Grossed.
She actually made $15.
Yeah.
Success.
I will. Okay, so do we fly first class or private? This is a very good question. Is it bougie if I only fly first class?
Yes.
I'm also, again, channeling Jenna Kutcher. She said that in an interview with her mentor, Dean.
Really? She just, I don't know who's following who, but her and Rachel Hollis have so much in common. They like have the same story. It's boring. I'm bored.
It was so boring, honestly.
They have the same like the same viral I have flaws, here's me in a bikini photo thing. They have the wedding business thing. They have what was the thing you just said? The thing that you just said.
The what?
I forget. What did you just say?
No idea. Nothing important. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Just rewind the clip, and then whatever you just said, they also have that in common.
Oh, that they fly first class?
Yes, because that was Rachel's thing. She's like, my goal in life is to fly first class only.
I don't care. I don't understand why people care so much how you fly. Like, it's still an airplane. It's still uncomfortable.
I mean, first class is nice.
Get jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you tried it?
I have done it once, and it was because my friend's dad worked for Delta. He was a mechanic. He retired now, but he was a mechanic for Delta, so he got those standby flights. And sometimes if you have to dress nicely, which is weird, but you have to dress like you're, going to a business meeting, which we did. We didn't go to a business meeting, but we dressed like it. And then if they have space and you have one of those standby tickets, you can get bumped up to first. So we did that flying to Dublin back in like 2014, 2013. Best experience ever. Never want to go back to coach, but that was like,
I'm afraid we're not going to be able to afford anything but coach, but
nice. It is nice. You got your own pod, your own like movie, display. They give you food the whole time, wine.
They give me food on second class,
but not unlimited food the whole time. They feed you like lunch, dinner, breakfast, snacks, champagne. It's awesome.
You guys like have a different it's different in America, isn't it? Because like
I
fly all the time.
Long flights.
I fly all the time, low cost. Nobody gives you anything. So the minute when I flew to America and I got like lunch, I was like, oh my god, like wow.
That's a fancy airline. We have those low budget ones too, but yeah, we don't have Ryanair, unfortunately, over here.
Oh no, Ryanair is the best.
Yeah, it's like a bus in the air. Thank you, Eden. Eden says, long-time listener, first-time live participant. Well,
yes,
welcome.
That's
cool. That's exciting. So basically what you're saying is
We're best friends.
Thank you for joining. Anyways.
So if we want to fly Kayla first class, that will be like $5,000.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be worth it to Ohio. But if I come to see you in Romania, that would be nice.
Yeah. Oh my! If you come to Europe, let's go to Disneyland somewhere like Paris. I don't know.
That's me. I've never been to Paris. I've only been to Scotland. I've been to Edinburgh, and I've been to Dublin and Galway. That's my European experience. And the
You went
London
to
airport.
Scotland and Dublin? It's like the same.
No, it's not. I felt like when we landed in Scotland, I'm like, whoa, this is like being in Harry Potter. And then Ireland was kind of like being like in Lord of the Rings.
So different. Like
like a little village.
A different
country.
fictional movie. Okay.
Well, one was like tall, like Gothic style buildings, and the other one was like little, like village not huts, but like little village, like 2-story little places everywhere, little pubs. I'm like, oh, this is
rainy.
Nice. Yeah, it's like little, like Hobbit style, and then it was like, whoa, like cathedrals and crazy stuff. So that was my experience.
Yeah, there's cathedrals everywhere in Europe. Like, that's fine.
But I would love to take a couple months and go to Europe and just jump around, take the train.
Don't worry, Lewis will have another retreat.
If I just get rid of all my friends, this could be in my future. I can't wait.
So,
Oh, okay.
We'll try
Carissa,
to make it. I really want to try.
Let's do it. Hold on. This is for Carissa. Hold on. I don't have any money. I feel you, girl. Can I still hear I am not problematic, please? Yes, you can.
I am not problematic.
So sad.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so clear. Crystal clear audio quality on that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, we'll start planning. We'll start planning our European adventures as well as our Ohio conference adventures. You know, if you came, okay, here's a thing. If you come in this is in September, the Lewis House event. If you plan your cards right, you could also attend Rage Talk Live, which is happening at the same time.
What?
In Ohio as well. She'll be in Columbus. And Cleveland, I believe. I think she's in 2 Ohio state places.
Well, what does it mean to play my cards right?
I don't know.
Stay there for a month.
Yeah, just live in Ohio. Just move to Ohio. Actually, you can see all of the scammers come through.
Oh no! I feel like, yeah, I feel like Lewis is more appealing. Although Rachel, obviously, but she knows us at this point. Like, she will not even let us in. As like we've criticized her way too much, like for her not to know us.
We're going in disguise.
They will just take us to prison straight away.
straight to prison. I'd be like, you know what? Here's Lewis's
Get
brother. We're gonna
Here.
put you in the cell next to Lewis's brother for not loving self-help.
And we also might be the only ones that show up. as it's been a lot of times. Like,
there's a lot of openings. She said on the podcast that she released the other day, she said that the Joliet one, which is like a suburb of Chicago, and Detroit are like gonna sell out, and I don't think that's true. I think that's complete, like...
It can sell out if she has like 10 tickets available.
I'm gonna look right now, but like the one in I looked up on the stream the other day, I looked up Charleston and Birmingham, and there was like 40 tickets sold. So I'm shocked if Joliet and Detroit are actually, and they're not gonna sell out. There's absolutely no way they're gonna sell out. Like, okay, no. I'll just show you real quick, just for funsies. This is the.
Oh my God! She got a huge room. What is she thinking?
Oh, like 1,000
what
people.
What is she thinking? She's canceled.
She's delusional. I'm sorry. The blue ones are the available seats. The white is the sold.
This is gonna be so cringe.
And she said, "This is you guys are like killing it. You guys are like crazy. You're buying so many tickets." I'm like, what?
Who's what? I don't.
These people in the white, but like she made it seem on the podcast like that this is a success. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That is, I cannot believe the room she got.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is insane.
And then she said Detroit was the other one that was like killing it. And she was going to do something special for the first city to sell out. I'm like, girl, you are not selling out. What are you talking about? There's no one sold anything. Is her team lying to her, or is she just lying to her viewers?
No, she's trying to create scarcity, to be like, buy now, it's selling out.
There's no one there. There's like 15 people that have bought tickets. I feel bad, sort of. I sort of feel bad.
Sus. This is worse than sus.
Sus at least had the appropriate space. It was like a small event space. This is like a full ass or like theater.
I feel like we could get more people than that.
I don't want to try. I'm too scared. I'm gonna put it on my list. Too scared to have conference.
Would you guys come to our conference? Because like,
let us know.
When I look at these numbers from Rachel, I'm like, we can beat that easily.
She's got over 1.5 million followers on Instagram, but yet can't. That's the thing with influencers; they can't necessarily translate their following into sales unless you're
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I feel, honestly, I'm not even kidding. Like, I do feel bad because I like when people don't come to like my birthday, like they are busy. I'm like, oh my God, I have no friends. I get so upset about it. So I don't want to make fun of someone for like not selling something. But at the same time, it's like, why are you saying you are selling them? I don't know
what she's thinking. She's canceled. Of course, people are not going to come. Like, it's not even.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of canceling her.
And the thing too, like, okay, you see these orange ones right here. Like, okay, you see stage and then you see like the orange ones. Those are VIP. Those cost like, I think, like 250, no, hold on. $155 plus, or that's silver. If you buy gold, it's $280 a ticket. But like the people that are behind them, which is not that many, because obviously, okay, the first row, there's people that have bought them. And then there's not people again until the general tickets. So those people spent $250 to sit in the front, but the people who spent $40 basically have the same view. Isn't that bad?
I will give you this, like, she did drop the prices because the conference that she had with Dave about like marriage counseling or something they're totally qualified for while they were in the midst of a divorce, it was like up to $1,700.
Yeah, that would be fair.
To drop that
yeah
to like 150, like I think that's what she was banking on when she got this big room. Like, she'd be like, oh, I'm dropping the prices so more people will come. Like, no, and she's
traveling, so they don't have to travel to there. But the thing is, like, to be fair, like the conference I think was multi-day and they had speakers, so okay, you could justify that. Like, well, they had to book it out, they had to hire and fly people in, potentially, probably not, but they could have. This is like, yeah, this is what you expect. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to a comedy show. Yeah, it should be about $40, $50.
Okay. Here, at which point do you think they will start to cancel this?
I don't think they will.
Okay, but I feel like the venue will be like, hey, dude, you can't even cover the deposit with these numbers.
She'll have to pay, like, out of pocket. Like, I'm sure they already put a deposit down or whatever. I don't know how it works, but I think she'll do it anyways. Like, I think she is so egotistical, she won't. And her whole brand is like, I don't give up, which I do give her credit for. She does not give up, even though I think she's delusional and like this, there is no goal anymore. She'll talk to a room of 20 people, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I wonder if the venue will be like, we can do better. Like, we don't go somewhere, go to a coffee shop with these people. Like,
no, I don't think so. I think they'll be like, okay, just pay us and you can do whatever you want here. You can have a seance.
She would lose that much money as to pay for all these seats?
I think so. I think she's got the boyfriend, the boo thing, who's got money. So who cares? She's got the money to blow. She'd rather spend $1 million to talk about herself. Because I think in her mind, she's selling the next book too. Like what I predict is her health book coming out soon. So I think she thinks of it as like, well, this is like a promo tour for that. Even if it costs money, it's like she can write it off as like, oh, it's advertising for the book.
surprised when she had these many. Like, this is
It used to
shocking.
sell out in minutes. Thousands, like 8,000 tickets in an arena would sell out in like a minute.
I feel like when Dave had his like documentary that was meant to come out, they canceled it because they didn't sell any tickets.
Yeah.
So I wonder, I'm just like, somebody will need to pay for all these seats. I don't know how the venue will feel when they get like 10 seats. I don't know. It's weird. I'm
She didn't cancel Rise. Yeah, and I see Soko Lashes. So Soko Lashes went to Rise, the one that I attended virtually. And that arena in Austin had like 1,200 seats, I believe, or 1,400. And then they converted the whole place to make it look like the stage was not the real stage. And they had to do some like reorg to make it look like it's a little event. And she didn't cancel it though, which I was shocked about. So she didn't cancel that one. She lost money on that for sure. She sold, and then like 47 people. That was a 1,200 like room venue. So if she didn't cancel that one, I think she's not going to cancel these.
Okay.
That's
so
my
is this
thoughts.
the best sold one, the one you're showing me?
That's what she said. No, she said Detroit was killing it and doing so good, but then the other one, the Illinois one, actually was killing it even more. I just feel bad because, like, she's either a really good liar or people are lying to her and like telling her.
No, she's a good liar.
Because she made it sound like so genuine on the podcast, like, oh my God, you guys, like, you guys in Illinois just like love me. Like, this is crazy how many tickets it's in. Like, when this sells out, like, I'm going to do something special for the first city to sell out, and it's neck and neck with Detroit. I'm like, looking at this, like, what? Huh?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
She chose really large venues.
Yeah. I don't know if she doesn't know that people hate her as much as they do, or what. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Shawn Mendes might make an appearance, and maybe that'll make the rest of the sales go up.
yeah. Well,
He canceled his tour. I don't know if you knew that.
where would we go? Which city?
Which city? Well, definitely Ohio, because we love Ohio. See, okay,
Yeah.
October 21st. I wonder if you can't. Okay, let's see. Let's just. Sorry, everyone who's still here.
Is she going to Lewis's thing?
Maybe. Wait. What the heck? He's got a documentary too. Okay, Summit of Greatness. This is our favorite event of the year. September 8th. Dang.
No, yeah, that's kind of 2 months
September
later.
8th through the 10th. Okay, let's look at Rach. September 8th. Oh no. Dang.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like too much time.
What about Omaha? Let's see Omaha just for fun.
I don't even know where that is.
It's in Nebraska. It's like the middle of America, I think. I should know. I don't even know where Nebraska is, to be honest. This is harder to see. It's a lot of colors. I think everything that's not gray is available. Woof.
She's getting more than I thought in terms of sales, but
Me too.
very ambitious, like very ambitious rooms. I'm just shocked.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like it's better to get like a coffee shop and fill it, and just be like, okay, here's us, like we fill the whole room, rather than like people just sitting at 10 meters
Optics.
like from one another, like because it looks like yeah.
Dave was literally, if she didn't learn from Dave doing his book tour, like in the parking lot of the Container Store, like, I don't know what. I think they just both think like, oh, it was COVID, it was the economy. It's like, no, it's you. Look within. That's the problem here. That's why people aren't coming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's definitely gonna say it's the pandemic and like, for sure.
It was like the Russian conflict.
She'd be like, guys, considering there's like a whole pandemic going on, like we had so many people
She already used the pandemic as the excuse for Rise not doing well. So it's over now. She needs, well, it's not over now, but like everything's open, so it's not like, oh, people are really worried about it. Like, no, people are kind of over it now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is insane.
Yeah.
This is so bad. Are you going to go?
I don't know. Maybe. I'll keep it vague so that I don't get arrested on the spot.
Yeah, you need to put like a blonde wig or something.
Yeah. I'm going to dress up like
that you look like her audience.
Yeah, I need like a big chunky necklace and like a what do you call it, peplum shirt and like chevron stripes. And like a Shawn Mendes shirt. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
The big thing now, if you buy VIP tickets, you can also then buy a custom army jacket.
Wow. Okay.
From Hawaii.
That's fun.
There's only 10 in each city.
They have some stock to give away. What's going on?
No, apparently she collabed with an artist from Hawaii and made vintage army jackets. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know anything about anything, but that's what she says. So if you're VIP, you get to go to the store first and sip and shop. So
yeah, because the people who would go as VIPs for sure, they just do it for the jacket.
Yeah, the chance to buy a jacket. You still have to buy it on top of your $250 ticket.
Oh, you don't get it?
No, you have to buy it. You get the chance to buy it first.
We will draw your name, and we'll put all the names in a ball, and we'll draw one, and somebody will get one jacket.
Yeah, they have 10 per city, so there's 11 cities. So the guy made like 100 some jackets, I guess, right? 10 times 10. Yeah.
That's mental. I can't believe she's doing it like she's like, does she have any chance of return? Like, she does not, in my opinion.
She said that she finally gave a little more info about it. She's like, it's going to be about how to love yourself and how to love others. So that's the theme of
Is
the
it not
event.
about like beginning and intuition?
And dancing? I don't know. You're going to dance and cry and talk about loving yourself and loving others.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
That's what I want to do on
Saturday
Saturday night.
Cry. I can't wait to cry a little.
Guys, I pee-peed myself. Like, oh, I'm going to cry.
They all do, apparently. That's what it takes to be a female guru.
Did Jenna pee herself too?
Yes, Jenna did. Not in the book, but in other things.
On the book. She pee in the book. She peed on the book.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, everybody. Good talk.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. This was fun.
This was fun. This was a good time. We'll be back next week with more Lewis and more of us as well.
Yeah, you can't escape us. We're here every week.
We're here forever. Okay. Peace, love, and light to you, everyone. As Lewis would say, bye.